Welcome back to Southern Country Video. On this portion of the show, I have the legendary, the queen of country music, Miss Kitty Wells, and her husband, Johnnie Wright. Welcome to Southern Country Video. The name Queen of Country Music came about in 1952 after It Wasn't God Who Made Honky Tonk Angels came about. What did this song do for you?
Well, it really got me started in a big way into the country music field. Just before I recorded that, I had retired and was going to stay home and raise the family, and so when I went in and recorded It Wasn't God Who Made Honky Tonk Angels, I never thought about it making a hit. So after recording it and it started making a hit, well, I had to go back to work. That was a short retirement.
What did you do before? Who were you singing with before It Wasn't God Who Made Honky Tonk Angels?
I was traveling with my husband, Johnny and Jack, and we've always more or less had a family show, and I toured with them all the time and sang. I was a, what you call a
Featured
star.
vocalist, yeah, with Johnny and Jack, you know, we had Ashes of Love,
right.
Poison Love, we wrote the Ashes of Love, and then we also wrote a song Kid in Red Foley did, One by One, we wrote that one.
I remember that song, I played it.
One by One, and You and Me.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been, Kid and I have been traveling together 51 years. Long time.
Well, let me see. Who did you sing duet with other than
I
John?
sang duets with, like, you know, Red Foley, and then Roy Acuff, and Webb Pierce, and Roy Drusky, and Johnny and I have some duet albums out together. And
let's step up to the present time just for a second while we're singing, talking duets. What's going on with Honky Tonk Angels video with K.D. Lang? And
well, that's been doing real good, and I'm real proud of that, you know. Of course, I'm just a minor part on the video.
I saw you at the CMA show. I was down there, and I saw all four of you on stage. I was right there.
Brenda Lee and Loretta and Katie and I, we really had a lot of fun recording the song. And
what brought that about?
Well, Katie, she liked Patsy Cline, and of course Loretta Lynn, and a lot of my songs, and she wanted Owen to produce an album for her. And she was more or less kind of wanting to get into the country field. So Johnny and I were in Hawaii last January, and Owen called us over there and asked if I would, you know, be willing to record on a song with KD. And she's a new artist down here and was wanting to get started. So I agreed to it, and Johnny did. And so he called Loretta and Brenda, and they both agreed to it. So we got back home and we went in and recorded the song in January, and it wasn't too long till that came out, and then they did a video with us. And everywhere I go, people tell me they've been seeing the video.
Incredible video.
Well, one thing it did, it got us on the Country Music Awards show.
Like I said, I was there. I saw
that dance. That dance is what I like. I've been trying to get Kitty to teach me that dance.
She don't teach you how to dance?
Well, I said they're trying to teach an old dog new tricks. That's kind of hard to do.
I was reading. Let's go back a few years. I know when we're talking about duets, I had to bring that in. Simplicity is made into a virtue, and heartbreak a trademark. Through Kitty's honest styling of classic country music themes, explain the statement. It was on one of your albums that I was looking at.
Well, I suppose that they're talking about, you know, the honesty with which I sing the song. I would try to put my whole heart, you know, into singing and sing the best that I know how, and try to sing with feeling. And I suppose that's what they're portraying about the album.
Tell us about the time you played the Palace in New York in 1955.
Well, we worked that show, Johnny and Jack and I, with Roy Acuff, the king of country music, and his band. And we were the first act to ever play at the Palace on Broadway. And we had some real good crowds. We did about, what, 4 shows a day, I believe it was.
First country act to ever go in there.
That's what I'm
That was the first country act to play in New York City.
Right.
First country act.
How did it feel to be inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1976?
Well, that was a great honor. I think that's the height of my career, and I think that most of the artists that's been inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame would say the same thing. And it's hard to explain just how, you know, I did feel the night.
It must have been incredible. Must have been incredible. What other awards have you had other than Run down some of the awards you received.
Well, Best Female Artist for Billboard and Cashbox, Music City News, and Record World, and Narrows, and just all the
For
awards.
16 years,
Whoa.
16 years in a row.
Have you written any songs? You a songwriter?
No,
anybody?
not no.
Yeah,
Johnny does, but
Yeah, the One by One, Jack and I and Jim England, we wrote a lot of songs like As Long as I Live, One by One, You and Me, Ashes of Love.
How many times have Ashes of Love been recorded by other artists?
About 4 different times. There's some people had out of California last year, the Desert Rose.
Right, that was the latest,
That's
Ashes
the latest
of Love.
one.
Exactly.
They sold a lot of recordings on it, and I was real glad they recorded it because it kind of helped me. Now when I go out, people want to hear it, and they say they know that we had it out in the 50s.
How many people know you were the original, though?
Most everybody, yeah. Of course, a lot of the young people don't, because we had it out in 1951.
Right.
So that's a long time ago.
Yeah,
And some of the younger people don't know, but a lot of the DJs still play the Johnny and Jack records like Grand Ole Opry or WSM radio. Late in the night, they play the old timers, you know, and we get in there every once in a while.
Yeah. How has country music changed since 1950s when you started out? Has it changed, or?
yeah, it's changed quite a bit. A lot of the people singing now, they call country, but they're not really true country. I like, you know, stuff traditional like Johnny and I do, and Roy Cuff and all those, and a few new artists coming along like Randy Travis and George Strait and different ones like that are beginning to do more country, and but the most of them are, I would call a middle of the road, kind of leaning to the pops, you know, feel
My
or
term is
something.
that country music went through a blender.
Yeah, it kind of did.
You know?
It was a little.
I don't know what it's been blended with, but somehow it just went through a blender somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think the radio stations quit playing the real old country, you know, and it wasn't the DJs, it was just the program
And directors,
Right.
music directors.
And I think Country Music Hall of Fame may have had a lot. They're promoting stuff that will sell on TV, and I guess they thought that some of the old timers like us didn't look good on TV or something. And
That's terrible.
And but the old country is coming back now. We've been on Hee Haw, and we just worked Hee Haw last week, and did some songs on there. And Kitty's on the CMA show, and they even flew her from New York down, and I both down there to cut that show. So
Wow.
it's I think TV has helped a lot. Johnny Cash has done a lot to promote country music. He's been on all over the world, and he's one of the top notches in the business, you know. He sticks to that country, and we do too.
I want to thank the both of you for being my guests on tonight's show, of course, Kitty Wells and Johnnie Wright. And that about wraps up this edition of Suds and Country Video, talking to entertainers that had country music hits a few years back. Thank you.